Well, hello everybody. I think it's actually working this time. First time I tried it, all I got was circles in the sand, so I had to stop the original stream and redo it again. So hopefully now it is up to speed and everything looks like it's all right to me from what I can tell. But we're at the next game, second game on the Thursday, July 2nd date. 2 games out of 5. There are 5 games being played this date, and we're going to cover all of them during the week. We're going east to west, so the last game that's not on the West Coast, it's the Twins and the Royals from Kansas City. Kansas City won the real game 10-3. It's game number 535 overall. We're at Royal Stadium, which is symmetrical, so 1-11 for singles, 1-3 for home runs. Pitching matchup, Joe Niekro, knuckleballer for the Twins, and Brett Saberhagen for the Royals. Twins come in the game 37-41. Royals come in 38-37. They're both looking up at the Oakland A's. So as we look at Brett Saberhagen, let's drill down on his numbers, both on real world and on the replay. Saberhagen, 18-10 with a 3.36 ERA in the real season. The replay has not gone quite as well for him. His numbers are better as far as his peripherals, but his win-loss record is wanting because the Royals have not scored runs for him. He's only 7-8, but his ERA is 2.89, so he should be faring a whole lot better than that. 125 innings pitched, 105 hits, 27 walks, and 75 strikeouts. And leading things off and also let's look at the hold rating as well. Saberhagen's a -3, Quirk's a +1 for a -2 hold. Saberhagen's wild pitch is a 5, his balk is a 2, and Quirk's pass ball is a 6. So Dan Gladden will lead things off for the Twins. Left fielder, Gladden hitting .237 on the replay, 5 homers, 21 driven in. He had .249 in the real season. And as always, before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip, which is mandatory on the morning games. Well, not mandatory, but it's just become a tradition. So there we go. All right, here is Dan Gladden. We got a 1-8 for Gladden, and that's going to be a base on balls. So right off the bat, Dan Gladden will reach on the walk. And whenever Gladden is on, he is a risk to run. Look at his numbers. He needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the jump, or to get the good lead, whatever you want to call it. 8, he does not get the lead, so he will hold. And now we set up with designated hitter Randy Bush. Bush hitting .270 on the replay, 2 homers, 15 driven in. He hit .253 real world. 4-11, and that's going to be a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Bo Jackson. He's a 4-E-14. So we have to go to our outfield chart. 4 and an E14. So as a 4, he's got to get at least a 12 on the D20 to make the catch. Be 12 or higher. And that's a 15, so he will get to it. That's an F2. That's good enough. Now the E14, he's got to avoid 3, 6, 12, 14, and 17. Which he barely does with a 7. So Bo Jackson is able to make the play and retire Randy Bush. 1 down for Kirby Puckett. Puckett on the replay is hitting .325, 11 homers, 39 driven in. He at .332 real world. It's a 5-6 against Saberhagen. Struck him out. First strikeout for Saberhagen. 2 down, and that's going to send up Gene Larkin, first baseman, as Kent Herbeck is on the bench for this one. Larkin hitting .329 on the replay, a homer and 9 driven in. He hit .266 real world. Nothing on the havoc. Larkin, switch hitter. 4-4, and that's going to be a ground ball third base X. That's Kevin Seitzer. He is a 4-E26. So we get the infield chart. 4 means he has to have at least a 7 or higher to get to this. 13 is just fine. Now, E26 at third base. He's got to avoid 10, 11, 15, and 17. And that is a 14, so he barely did it. But he makes the play, and that's going to retire the Twins. We go to the bottom of the first. Minnesota nothing. Kansas City coming to bat. And the knuckleballer Joe Niekro will trot out and see what he can do. We get Niekro's numbers both on the replay and real world. Good morning, John. Niekro, 7-13, 5.33 ERA in the real season. On the replay, he's 3-5 with a 4.98 ERA, 65 innings pitched, 72 hits, 33 walks, 46 strikeouts. And he's got an 18 for a wild pitch. So if we get a wild pitch chance, it's very likely to happen. Laudner's a 6-pass ball, +5 for Niekro. So that's going to allow guys like Willie Wilson to maybe steal some bases when you get because he's a +8. So it didn't matter who the catcher was. It was going to be a +5 regardless. So Willie Wilson will lead things off. He's hitting 271 on the replay, 2 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 279 real world. And we start out with a 5-8, switch hitter batting left, and that's a strikeout for Niekro. Starts out by retiring Willie Wilson. One away for Kevin Seitzer, third baseman. Seitzer hitting 299 on the replay, 9 homers, 40 driven in. He hit 323 real world. It's a 3-9, and that's a walk. So interesting start for Niekro. A strikeout followed by a walk. Kevin Seitzer going to try to get the lead. Needs a 5 or a 6 to get the lead. It's a 9. He can't get the lead. That's going to send up George Brett, first baseman. George Brett hitting 280 on the replay. 8 homers, 19 driven in. He hit 290 real world. It's a 210 for Brett, and that's a fly to right field. Hauled in by Davidson. I'm sorry, by Bernansky. 2 down. And here comes Danny Tartable. That's a 2. Balk or pass ball chance. We're looking at the balk chance. Niekro has a 0 for his balk rating. So Tartable hitting 317 on the replay. 18 homers, 54 driven in. He hit 308 real world. That is a 1-4 for Tartable. Split chance. 1-3 is a single. 4-20, he lines it to Gagne. And that's lined to Gagne to end the inning. Nothing doing for either side. We go to the second. No score from Royal Stadium. It had not yet turned to Kauffman Stadium. It is still, in 87, still called Royal Stadium, as far as I'm aware. So we go to the top of the second for Tom Bernansky, the right fielder. Bernansky's hitting 269 on the replay. 12 homers, 37 driven in. He hit 259 real world. 5-3, and that is a fly ball left field extra back to Bo Jackson again. He's a 4. 4 and an 8. That's going to drop for a base hit. Let's see if it's a single. I think it's a single. 4 and an 8 is an SI2, so definitely a single. Checking the E14. That is a 10, so there's not any error on E14 with a 10, so just a base hit for Tom Bernansky. Bernansky not going to try anything as far as trying to get a lead. That'll bring up Roy Smalley. He's playing at third today, as they also give Gary Gaetti not playing. So they don't have Gaetti and they don't have Herbeck, so a little bit of a makeshift lineup for the Twins. Smalley hitting 278 on the replay, 5 homers, 32 driven in. He hit 275 real world. That's a 3-3 for Smalley, and that's a pop out to short. Angel Salazar makes the play. 1 away. And that will take us to the catcher, Tim Laudner. Laudner hitting way above his skis. He's hitting 287 on the replay. 11 homers, 24 driven in. He only hit 191 real world. So he's definitely gotten off to a hot start. 6-7, and that's hot start's going to continue. There's a base hit, single to center. Bernansky will just hold at second base. So first and second, 1 out for Greg Gagne, shortstop. Gagne hitting way above his skis as well. 353 on the replay, 8 homers, 40 driven in. He only hit 265 real world, but he has been doing very well all season. He holds the distinction as being the only player in this replay to hit for the cycle. 3-12, and that's going to be a pop out to third. Seitzer is there, 2 down. 2 away, and that's going to take us to Steve Lombardozzi, the number 9 hitter. Lombardozzi hitting 245 on the replay. That's a 2. We'll come back to that. 245 on the replay, 3 homers, 17 driven in. He had 238 real world. So a 2, balker pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating of Saberhagen. His balk rating is a 2. So no balk by Saberhagen. So Saberhagen will pitch it to Lombardozzi. 3-5, and that is going to be it would have been a single. Let's check it out close up and personal. 3-5 against the right-hander would have been a single, but you look at that little omega symbol right there on the 3-5, and that is a clutch hit that is taken away from Steve Lombardozzi. So because of that omega symbol on the 3-5, that single turns into a pop-up to short, and that will end the inning because we were in a clutch situation with a runner at second and 2 outs. So he pops it up to short to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the second, still no score from Kansas City. And good morning to you, Philip. So Niekro back out. We'll face Frank White, second baseman, to lead things off. White hitting 238, 10 homers, 27 driven in. He had 245 real well. That's a 6-10, and that is going to be a fly ball center field X. That is Puckett. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're only concerned about the E rating. His E rating's a 6, and at center field, he has to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18. 3, 4, 15, and 18, and he does that perfectly. So he will put that away with little difficulty. 1 away. That'll bring up Jim Eisenreich, the designated hitter. Eisenreich, in limited duty, just 18 at bats, but he is 6 for 18 for a 333 average. No homers, 4 driven in. He had 238 real world. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Lombardozzi. Lombardozzi is a 2. 2 and a 9, he'll get to that. 18 is the problem, or it might be the problem. And 18 error rating at second base. He's got to avoid, 13 and 18, basically the 2 numbers to avoid, 13 and 18, which he does just fine, and he makes the play. 2 up, 2 down for the Twins. And that'll take us to Bo Knows. Bo Jackson hitting 249 on the replay, 12 homers, 32 driven in. He at 235 real world. 1-8 for Bo, and he strikes out. Second strikeout for Niekro. Can't handle that Niekro knuckler, and that's going to end the inning. We go to the third. No score from Kansas City. Twins back to the top of their order for Dan Gladden. Walked his first time, but was stranded at first base. 4-4, and that's going to be a fly ball center field X. Wilson's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. He's an E1, so the only error chance is a 17. And he makes the play. 1 down. And that sends us to the designated hitter, Randy Bush. Bush, his first time up, flew to left. It's a 4-6, and he will strike out. Saberhagen with his second strikeout. Takes care of Bush. 2 down for Puckett. Puckett struck out his first chance. 1-9 for Puckett. That's a solid single. 2-out single for Puckett. See if he wants to try to get a lead. I think he will attempt it. 4 through 6 to get the lead. And he gets a 4, so he's going to go. 15 being held as a 13. -2 is an 11. 1 to 11, he steals it. And he's got caught stealing. So Puckett caught stealing to end the inning. Look at Puckett's numbers on stolen bases, both on the replay and on the real season. Puckett stole 12 bases, got caught 7 times. On the replay, he's stolen 10 bases. This is his 6th caught stealing. So Puckett out on the base pass. And Mr. Larkin will have to lead off the next inning. So we go to the bottom of the third. And still no score. Niekro out facing the bottom of the order. Salazar, Quirk, and then Wilson. 3-7 for Salazar, and that's a ground ball to short. Salazar came into this game hitting 224, 2 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 205 real world. He grounds to Gagne for that first out. And we go to the number 9 hitter, catcher Jamie Quirk. Quirk hitting 272 on the replay, 2 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 236 real world. 4-6. That's a solid double off of Niekro for Jamie Quirk. 1 out double. Royals have their first hit of the game. And a runner in scoring position for the first time. Here's Willie Wilson. Struck out his first time. 4-8. Switch hitter. 1-12 is a single. Anything else, he will line it to Lombardozzi. And that's a single, but it's only 1 star, so Quirk stops at third. But now runners on the corners, only 1 out, and Wilson will be looking to run. Needs a 3 through 6 to get the lead. And he's got it. 19, being held as a 17, but the +5 there makes it basically a 22. But there's not much chance there. So rather than risk a throwing error by Laudner with the runner at third, Laudner's just going to eat the ball. And Willie Wilson will get the stolen base. On the real season, 1987 season, Willie Wilson stole 59 bases, got caught 11 times. This is stolen base number 28 for him on the replay. He's been caught 4 times. So stolen base number 28. That takes the double play out of the equation. Puts a little pressure on the defense now. Second and third, only 1 out. And Kevin Seitzer, the batter. The infield's going to play in. They do not want to give up a cheap run. So they're going to play in for Kevin Seitzer. Niekro, 1-8. And it doesn't matter where they play. That's a base hit. Base hit, and 1-8 says it's to right field. So Bernansky has a -1 arm. Wilson, 17, not being held as a trail runner. He's an 18. -1's a 17. So 1-17, he will score. If they throw through, Seitzer will take second base. But I think you just can't give him the home plate. You got to throw through. So the throw's coming home, 1-17. And he's out at the plate. Wow, what a throw by Bernansky. Seitzer will take second on the play, but Bernansky just saved a run as he takes out Willie Wilson at the plate. Nice block by Laudner as well. So it's a base hit for Seitzer. He goes to second. And let's see here. Willie Wilson is out. It's going to go 9-2. Make sure I got that right. Scoring on the play is Quirk, as he scored from second, but Wilson is out 9-2. And again, taking second on the play is Seitzer. So it's 1-0 Royals with Seitzer at second and 2 outs. Clutch situation for George Brett to be in. That is a 3-6 for Brett. He's going to walk, and that'll put runners at first and second. And now Tartable in a clutch situation. Yes, Bob, they've actually won a couple of games now, which is surprising. The Athletics were not very good either, so that helped. Hello, Dr. D. Here's Tartable. 1-8 for Tartable. Struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. Strikeout number 3. But the Royals take the lead 1-0 as we go to the fourth here in Kansas City. Saberhagen given that 1-0 lead to protect. He'll be facing Larkin, Bernansky, and Smalley due up for the Twins. 4-6, and that's a strikeout for Saberhagen, his third. And that'll bring up Bernansky, right fielder. 3-10 for Bernansky. That's another strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Saberhagen. 2 quick outs for third baseman Roy Smalley. 5-9, and that's a fly to right. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still 1-0 favor of the Kansas City Royals. Niekro back out will face Frank White. It's a 2-7 for White, and that is a strikeout for Niekro, his 4th. And that'll send up Jim Eisenreich. That's a 5-4 for Eisenreich. 5-4, lefty. That's an in-home run. I'm sorry, that's 4-4. 5-4 is a ballpark single check, which is a 1 to an 11 for Eisenreich. And he does not get the hit, so that will be a pop out short. 2 down. And that takes us to Bo Nose. Whoop, that one got stuck up there. Let's try it again. There we go. 6-5, and that's a liner right to Lombardozzi to end the inning. So both pitchers pitching well. It's the score right now is much less than the real score of 10-3. So the pitching has shown up a little bit better today. And Saberhagen back out will pitch the 5th inning. To the bottom of the order, Laudner, Gagne, and Lombardozzi. 5-10, and that is a catcher X, rather. Catcher X, quirks of 4. 4-19 is probably a ground out. Let's take a double check to make sure, but I think 4-19 is a ground out for a catcher. Yep, G3. So as long as there's no error, he's an E10. He has to avoid 12 and 18. Those are the 2 numbers to not roll. And he does that successfully. So it's going to be considered a 2-3 ground out. 1 away. And that'll take us, good morning, Scott. That'll take us to Greg Gagne. 1-8 for Gagne. That's a home run, 1-7. Double, 8-20. So 1-7, we got a tie ball game. That's an 8, so he'll settle with a double. Just off the top of the wall. Just couldn't quite clear it. But a 1-out double. Twins have their first real threat to score. Here's Lombardozzi. Only 1 out. That is a 1. So wild pitch chance on Saberhagen is a 5. And it is a wild pitch. That'll move Gagne to 3rd now. That's big with only 1 out. Now the Royals might want to bring the infield in to prevent a cheap run. I think they will. They don't want a cheap run on a ground ball B or something. So Lombardozzi is up with the infield in. That's a 5-7, and it's a 1-6 single. 7-20, he lines out. And he lines to short, snagged by Salazar. 2 down. Now the infield can go back to normal for Dan Gladden in a clutch situation. Gladden in the clutch will lose a hit on 2-8 and 3-3. 1-9, though, is a walk, and that keeps the inning going. For Saberhagen, that is his 2nd walk issued to go with 4 strikeouts. And now it's up to Randy Bush in the clutch. The Twins are going to get on the board. Bush in the clutch will gain a hit, 3-10 and 3-3. So he gains 2 hits. If you can find that column 3 in those numbers. Column 4. 4-8's a strikeout for Saberhagen, his 5th. And that'll take care of the Twins. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. Favor of Kansas City. As Saberhagen pitches around the mess. And now here is Angel Salazar. Batter. Angel Salazar. Adjust my seat here for a second. And just because I have to, let's go over here and look at my companion sitting right here with me as we play. Happy? Oh, now she's, as soon as I put the thing on her, she gets disinterested. So, oh well. But if Chuck comes along later, he'll be happy. All right, so here we go. Back to the game. Angel Salazar. Make sure I'm in line here. Get myself reconfigured. Okay, I think we're okay now. Here is Salazar. 6-5 against Niekro as a line out to Lombardozzi. And that's 1 away. So 1 down. Number 9 hitter Jamie Quirk coming up. Quirk doubled and scored his first time up. Only run of the game. 5-7. Ground ball, second base X. Lombardozzi has another chance. He's a 2, E18. 2 and a 19. He gets to it. No problem whatsoever. E18. Let's check and see what that brings. Get our infield chart out for a second baseman. E18, he's got to avoid 13 and 18. Those are the two numbers to avoid, 13 and 18. And he does. So it's good play for Lombardozzi. Cork is retired. 4-3. And that is 2 away for Willie Wilson. 6-5, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to left field, and Gladden puts it away. 1-2-3 inning for Niekro, and these two pitchers are battling it out, keeping the offenses off balance. We go to the 6th. And Saberhagen back out. We'll face Puckett, Larkin, and Brunansky for the Twins. Puckett, Larkin, and Brunansky. 6-11. And that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Salazar, 2E16. 2-11. He'll get to that. E16 as a shortstop. 14 and 17. Got to avoid 14 and 17. And he does, barely. But it's all that matters. He does. And Puckett is out. 1 away. Gene Larkin, your batter. 3-6 rather for Larkin, and he's got a home run chance. 1-2, 3-20 for a double, and that's gone. Gene Larkin found the 2, and we got a tie ball game. Gene Larkin subbing for Kent Herbeck today, and he comes through with his second home run of the replay. He had 4 real world, but he comes up with the second home run of the replay to tie the score at 1 apiece. Brunansky, 3-8 for Brunansky. He strikes out. Strikeout number 6 for Saberhagen. And that'll take us to Roy Smalley. Smalley, a 4-7 for Smalley. Ground ball shortstop X. Again, Salazar is a 2, which is good. And again, the only errors that he will encounter as an E16 are 14 and 18. And again, he rolls a 13 and barely escapes. Twins tie it, though, on the home run from Gene Larkin. We go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 1 apiece. It was not a clean home run. It was a split, so it wasn't clean as defined by Mr. Guterman. It was required a D20 roll. So by definition, that means it's not clean. All right, here is Kevin Seitzer. And this is the fatigue inning for Niekro, number 6. So we'll keep an eye on his fatigue. Seitzer, 4-8, and that's a walk. So that's 1 notch against his fatigue. It's also going to allow Seitzer to try to get a lead. For Niekro, that is his 3rd walk issued. And now that's a 2, so it's a possible balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk chance on Niekro, which is a 0, but that means Seitzer now can't get the lead or can't establish a good lead. So he'll hold for George Brett. 2-12 for Brett. Brett is a ballpark single check, which is a 1-11. Whoops. Drop my dice here. 1-11. And he gets the base hit. 1 star only. 1st and 2nd. And now 1 more base runner, and Niekro will reach fatigue. And he's got to deal with Danny Tartable, cleanup hitter. That's a 2-6 for Tartable, and that's a ballpark blast for Tartable. Unfortunately, in Royal Stadium, it's only a 3. If this was the Metrodome, it'd be a whole different story. But at Royal Stadium, it's only a 3 for a home run. And that's just going to be a deep fly to left for 1 away. So Niekro got away with 1 there, thanks to spacious Royal Stadium. Here's Frank White, second baseman. 6-6, and that's a fly to left again. So Gladden again, not quite as deep that time, but 2 quick outs, and all of a sudden now he can get out of it if he can get Eisenreich in a clutch situation. Eisenreich, the designated hitter, is 0 for 2. In the clutch, Eisenreich is not rated. He's completely neutral. That's a 1, so it's a wild pitch chance on Niekro, which is almost guaranteed. It's 1-18. And it will be a wild pitch that'll put runners in scoring position. And now a base hit from Eisenreich could score 2 runs. Possibly. That's a 5-11, and that's a ballpark blast for Eisenreich. He does have normal power, but again, it's only a 1-3. So Niekro's likely to get out of the inning. And he does. Fly to right takes care of it. So Niekro will hang in there, and he'll start to pitch the 7th as well. He hangs tough. It's 1-1 as we go to the 7th inning. Saberhagen back out. We'll face the bottom of the order, Laudner, Gagne, and Lombardozzi. We are in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is allowed should the need arise. Laudner, 5-8 against Saberhagen. That's a fly to right. Tartable puts it away. 1 down. That will take on Gagne. It's a 5-5, and that's a fly to center. It's a dot there, but he has not reached his fatigue inning yet. So Willie Wilson handles it, no problem. 2 up, 2 down for Lombardozzi. Lombardozzi 0 for 2. Well, that is going to be a 3-7, and that's going to be a strikeout, and that will end the inning. Strikeout number 7 for Saberhagen. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Score tied at 1 apiece. Niekro back out, but the bullpen for the Twins is loosening as he is close to his fatigue inning. And we'll look at the bullpen for the Twins and see who's available, who's tired, all that good stuff. According to the Strat-O-Matic computer, we do have one left-hander, Dan Schatzeder. He's available. You have Keith Atherton, he's available. You have George Frazier, he's available. And you have Jeff Reardon, he's available. And one more guy that's available that I don't have out right here because he was starting, but I think according to the computer, he's back in the bullpen now. And that is Juan Berenguer. So that will help the bullpen as well. Give him an extra arm out there. But at the moment, it looks like Keith Atherton is loosening the Twins bullpen in back of Niekro. Right now, Niekro is going to see what he can do against Bo Jackson, bottom of the 7th. That's a 2-11 for Jackson, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-11. And Jackson is out of there. He lines it to Gagne, 1 away. Niekro trying to get through 7 innings. Probably be the most that Tom Kelly would trust him with. Here's Angel Salazar. Facing the bottom of the order helps too. 6-10, and that is a fly ball center field X, and having Kirby Puckett in center also helps. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. The only thing we're checking is his error rate. He is an E6, and in center field, the only errors on E6 are 3, 4, 15, and 18. 3, 4, 15, and 18. And no problem for Puckett. 2 up, 2 down for Jamie Quirk. Quirk has doubled and scored the only run for the Royals. 3-9 for Quirk. He's got a chance at another double, not a good one, but a chance. Otherwise, just a single. And we have a single for Jamie Quirk. He's 2 for 3. No chance to run, though, to get any kind of lead. One more base runner, and Niekro will be fatigued. Here's Willie Wilson. It's a 4-8, and that's a single 1-12. 13-20, he lines to Lombardozzi. And that's a single, so first and second, 2 outs for Kevin Seitzer. And now Niekro will be fatigued, but they're going to try to get him through the inning. If he doesn't get Seitzer I think they're going to bring in Schatzader, the left-hander, to face Brett. So this is probably most likely the last batter for Niekro, no matter what happens. That's a 2, balk or pass ball. That's going to be a balk chance, but Niekro has no balk rating or 0 balk rating. So here's Seitzer. That is a 5-4, and that's a ballpark single check again. 1 to an 11. And it's an 8. It's a base hit's going to load the bases, and that's it for Niekro. You can't make it through the 7th. And the Twins will go to the left-hander Dan Schatzader to face the left-hander George Brett. Niekro is going to go 6 2/3. He is going to, well, let's get the things in the computer so I can get my full numbers here. Gave up 3 singles in a row after the first 2 were out. So 7 hits allowed by Niekro, just the 1 run, but he's responsible for everybody on base. Niekro walks 3 and strikes out 4. And now the left-hander, Dan Schatzader. Schatzader, I'm not sure. I've heard it pronounced both ways, actually. I always call him Schatzader, kind of like one long, continuous name. 0 hold, so he's a 0. But his job is to get the left-handed hitting George Brett out. So we'll go to the computer, bring in Schatzader, as Niekro gave him as much as he could give him before he faded. Go to the card of Schatzader and look at his numbers. Dan Schatzader, left-hander, 3-1, 6.39 ERA, but he's supposed to be in there to get lefties. On the replay, he's 0-0 with a 6.48 ERA, 8 innings pitched, 11 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts. His job, quite simply, is to face George Brett and retire George Brett. Bases loaded, 2 outs, clutch situation for Brett against the left-hander, and he will gain a hit on 2-12. And that's a 3-8, and he gets a ground ball to third, so Schatzader gets out of it on the 3-8. And we remain tied at 1 apiece after 7 innings of play. Saberhagen back out. This is his fatigue inning, fatigue number 8, or inning number 8 for his fatigue inning. And we'll see what he does. As he faces the top of the order, Dan Gladden. That's a 4-11, and that's going to be a ground ball first base X. We're looking at Brett. He's a 3-E-12. 3 and a 1. That's going to get through for a base hit. Bad break there for Brett. E12 at first base. He's got to avoid 6-9, 15, and 18. 6-9, 15, and 18. And he does, but it's a base hit for Dan Gladden, which means he is going to be looking to get a lead. Gladden needs a 4 through 6 to get the lead. And he does not. He gets an 8, so he has to hold. Bush, your batter, designated hitter. He's 0 for 3. 5-2. It's a ground ball first base C, so in a weird way that acts as a sacrifice because the only play for Brett is to throw it to Saberhagen covering first, and the runner advances. So he doesn't get credit for a sacrifice, but it acts just like one. And now that brings up Puckett. Big situation here for Saberhagen. Got to get Puckett. 4-7, and it's a ground ball second base X. That's going to be Frank White. He's a 2. 2 and a 7. He wasn't holding anybody on, so that should be just fine. 2 and a 7 is a G2, not a problem. Frank White is an E11 at second base. He's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18, which he does. 2 down, and Gladden will take third. So now runner at third, 2 outs for Larkin, who homered his last time up for the only run of the Twins. So definitely a clutch situation right here for Saberhagen and for Larkin. And Larkin in the clutch loses a couple of hits here, 2-7, 2-8. So we'll keep an eye on that. But it's a 3-10 instead. Ground ball to second. And White handles it, and that's going to take care of that. Saberhagen carries Endurance into the 9th. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. We are still tied at 1 apiece. Schatzeder did his 1/3 of an inning and got his batter out. So now the Twins will go to the bullpen for Keith Atherton as righties are coming up. So they're going to the right-hander out of the bullpen, Keith Atherton. And let's see what Atherton is, a 0 hold as well. So let's get the numbers on Atherton. Atherton, 1987, was 7-5 with a 454 earned run average. And we'll get his, bring him on the computer and get his numbers on the replay. Atherton is 3-6, but his ERA is 7.61. He's had a rough replay. 3 saves, though. 47 innings pitched, 50 hits, 18 walks, 38 strikeouts. So Atherton will be facing Danny Tartable to start the 8th, righty-on-righty matchup. And looks like we're still in good shape for the Cards. Okay. Here is Tartable. 3-9 for Tartable. That's a walk. Leadoff walk to Tartable. Tartable not going to try anything as far as running, but he is the go-ahead run. Here's Frank White. Two-5 for White. Pops him up, and Larkin makes the play. 1 away. That'll send up Jim Eisenreich. 3-8 for Eisenreich. He lines it to short. Gagne is there, 2 down. Now it's up to Bo Jackson. If the Royals are going to take the lead this inning, Bo's going to have to do something. Right now he's 0 for 3. But you never know when Bo might strike. 3-4, and there's a chance Bo's going to strike right here. 3-4 is a 1-14 home run. 15-20 is a double. And that's gone. Bo does strike. Bo knows home runs. 3-4 was the roll. Let's do the close-up for Bo. Just for Bo. Just for Bo. 3-4 on the close-up against right-handers is a 1-14 home run, and the D20 is a 5. Bo Jackson, a 2-run home run to give the Royals a 3-1 lead. And now Dan Quisenberry loosening in the Royal bullpen in back of Saberhagen. For Bo Jackson, that is home run number 13 on the replay. RBIs 33 and 34. He had 22 home runs real world. And he takes Atherton deep to make it a 3-1 game. Here's Salazar, 4-9, and that is a 1-8 single. 9-20 is a line out to short, and that's a line out to Gagne to end the inning. But the 2-run home run, and that's going to be it for Atherton. He goes 1 inning, gives up the 1 hit and a walk, which produces the 2 runs. We go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Twins. Saberhagen's going to go for the complete game, but Dan Quisenberry, the Quiz, is loosening in the bullpen just in case Saberhagen needs some last-minute help. So Bo Jackson hadn't done anything all game, but like I said, he can strike at any time. And it's going to be Brunansky to lead things off for the Twins. Let's back this up 1 hair. There we go. Good morning there, Mr. ID. All right, top of the 9th, 3-1, Kansas City. Kansas City, the only team in the American League West other than Oakland, it's above 500. So they're trying to catch the, stay on pace with the A's. Here's Brunansky. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout, but he's not tired yet. He only had allowed 1 hit in his fatigue inning. So he has not reached fatigue yet. So Saberhagen, that strikeout is going to count. That is strikeout number 8. One away for Roy Smalley. Smalley is 0 for 3, so we could be seeing a pinch hitter, although he did hit 275 real world, and he is a switch hitter, so it's kind of hard to pinch hit for that. We'll stick with him. 4-8, and he struck him out. Saberhagen with strikeout number 9. Trying to finish strong. We will get a pinch hitter for Laudner. He's not the best hitter in the world, so we will have a pinch hitter for Laudner because the Twins need 2 runs, not 1 run. So 1 home run is not going to cut it. They will go to the bench and bring on a pinch hitter, Mark Davidson. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Herbeck is injured right now. I think he's on the roster, but I think he's injured for a couple games. So I want to be realistic and not use somebody that would not have been able to be used real world. So I'm going to bring in Mark Davidson to hit for Laudner. Davidson on the replay is hitting 202. 1 homer, 7 driven in. On the real season, though, he hit 267. So Laudner is out and Davidson is in. Quisenberry is ready if he's needed, but Saberhagen looking to finish what he started. 5-2, and he does. It's a ground ball to first, and that's going to do it. Brett's going to flip to Saberhagen covering. There's a dot, but again, he's not tired. So that's going to do it. Saberhagen's going to go the distance, and the Royals defeat the Twins by the score of 3-1. Saberhagen will even his record at 8-8. He didn't get the run support again, like he usually. He's been plagued by lack of run support. However, Bo Jackson bailed him out late, and he's able to even his record. So he's going to go 9 innings, give up just 6 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. For the game, 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for Kansas City. 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors for the Twins. Atherton takes the loss. He's now 3-7. And, of course, the win to Saberhagen, who's now 8-8, lowers his ERA to 2.76. Look at our standings now after this game has been input and see where the Royals stand as far as the Oakland A's go. Royals are now 7 games back. They were 7.5. They're now 7. And, of course, they're going to be interesting spectators in the next game, which will feature, well, it won't be the next game, but it'll be later this week. They'll have a game between the Red Sox and the A's. But tomorrow, we will be in Seattle, in the Kingdom, as the Detroit Tigers take on the Seattle Mariners. The last 3 games of this date are all on the West Coast, as we have Milwaukee in California, Boston in Oakland, and Detroit in Seattle. So tomorrow morning will be Detroit at Seattle. Not sure of the pitching matchup, but don't have it in front of me. And tonight, of course, will be game number 10 for the Colorado Rocky replay, as they are 3-6 after sweeping the Athletics. But now a much different opponent. The tougher Milwaukee Brewers come to town. And it'll be Kyle Freeland for the Rockies against Willie Peralta, Fred. I think his name is Fred Peralta for the Brewers. So that'll be tonight around 9-ish. And then tomorrow morning, right back at it with the 87 replay, Tigers at Seattle. So that's going to do it from here. Chuck, if you're still around, let's see here. If you're still around, Chuck, one more shot there of Tabby. There she is. You see how close she sits to the table? She's right there. So she likes to, I guess she likes the dice. I don't know what the fascination is, but when I play, she automatically seems in the last, last week or so, it seems like she's always, she could be in another room, but when she hears me coming here, she comes running in here and jumps on her little stand and sits there and watch me roll the dice. So interesting thing. Cats are interesting animals for sure. All right, so Brett Saberhagen, he is the man. Brett Saberhagen, along with this guy, Bo Jackson. He's also the man. So Bo knows. So maybe co-MVPs here, Bo Jackson and Brett Saberhagen. We'll call them co-MVPs for the 87 Royals in this game. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday, whatever you have planned. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.